I don't know if that's my tree. That's it from his tree. He can get rid of. No, no, I'm not. You clean up your own darn tree. No. Rotters, welcome back to the channel. We're at this huge 6-foot diameter or bigger willow tree that's down. See the base of it. And I think I have somewhat of a strategy. I'm going to clean up these sucker branches coming off this tree. I'm going to cut this member here because it's not supporting anything. There's a limb in this tree. I'm going to try grabbing that with the excavator. And cutting that off to get it out of the way. So this area will be clear. And then I'm going to trim the tip, this tip that is close to the ground. It's not burying anything. The tip that's close to the ground, I'm going to clean this up in here, cut this back, and look, it's, if you can see it, it's moving. Maybe a little bit it's holding something. The danger is having this tree roll back on me. That's my fear. So maybe I'm going to leave that limb until I trim this back. And then, because that, see that big branch up in there? That, I believe, is broken. And I don't want that to fall on me. So I'm going to carefully trim this. And if it's, I see that moving, I'm going to have to run for the hills. Because I don't think this is holding anything. Or if it I don't know. It may be, that tip might be holding. Maybe I'll cut the top of it and see how I go. So that's my fear, is that piece, because I think that's broken off. It broke off from the tree there, peeled back, and that's how it's settled. Guys, I don't know. So I'm going to start by cleaning up this area and getting as much as I can out of here. I believe that is the branch. That is the branch that is holding this tree from falling completely down. And then the trunk, believe it or not, that little bit, foot and a half around the base of that trunk is keeping it from pivoting. Because that I've seen that, that's what happens. And I got to watch that this tree isn't holding up my neighbor's tree, which is leaning towards the direction. I'm not happy with this scenario, but I got to get started doing that. Some of you might think this is funny. Can't find my chainsaw helmet, and I just didn't feel funny. She spit that chain and she was coming loose, and I didn't like it. So I'll trim up a little more on this side, and then I'll move to the back. I forgot my earplugs. This is kind of like riding a motorcycle, right? So I'm going to come in with the excavator and clean some of this out. So I cleaned up with the excavator most of this debris. I couldn't reach from this angle the debris in the creek, and again, I may have to call the town for that. Now this is that big piece which is definitely cracked or broken there, so that's just tippy in this tree, and I don't know where that's going to end up. So what am I going to do? I don't know what I'm going to do. I think definitely I'm going to try to cut this off in chunks. Cut that off, reach up there, because this isn't doing anything. And then I may set up, and I broke this limb off that was hanging over here. I broke it off with the excavator. I'm going to dice, see how damp or wet this tree is. And then I really think, I'm worried about that, I may set the excavator arm up to block as a blocker in here. I don't know. I really think I'm going to cut it here and try to that's supporting it. This branch is supporting it. I'm going to try to cut it here and bring this down. The problem is that's going to kick out, and I have to keep my eye on it. But this branch should keep it from kicking towards me. So I think that's going to be my goal, is to cut it here, and then it will settle down. And remember, this arm is not going to be here. I'm going to cut that off. So I'll dice this up, and then I'm going to cut this arm off, and then cut this, relief cut it, so it will settle down and get lower to the ground. And then when that happens, I think it's going to lose that. When it drops, it's going to lose. This piece is going to break off, probably end up in the creek. I don't know if I'm going to be able to snatch it or not. That piece is going to break off and end up in the creek. I'll try to grab that, and then maybe I can grab this and pull it over in a separate piece, and then maybe attack this. Figure out this should be lower where I can get it on the ground and not on a ladder. All right, I'm not going to show dicing this up. Probably don't care about that. But you can see I have to dice this up. Let me do that, and then I'll get back to you. A piece of wood flew up, hit me in the head. Thank God I had this helmet on, because I felt, I don't know if I'll see if it's on camera, definitely protected me better than a construction helmet. Okay, so this is definitely, if you can see, that is broken off and it's sheared from there. Okay, so it definitely sheared off. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to clean this up off camera, I think. Clean this up. And then I think what I'm going to do is try to get in here and use the excavator arm as a blocker. Just in case that thing kicks back, I'm going to try to set the excavator arm to block it when it comes back. If anything, to slow it down. So I'm going to try to do an undercut here to relieve this so this settles down slowly. So I keep explaining this. Now let's get to work. I didn't see any of that. I heard it cracking, I saw it moving. Praise the Lord. Praise the Lord. I didn't see any of it. As soon as it started moving, I heard the cracking. I said, run behind the excavator. Thank God for this machine. I told myself, she's not coming through this machine. Okay. Praise the Lord. And I'm under this thing. So, just what I thought. And this is all good, people. Just what I thought. I gotta shut this other camera off. I'm out of breath. If I didn't shut the chainsaw off. That was a big deal. I'm actually a little choked up. Okay. I'm choked up, I think, because I'm so happy. Because I'm happy for a lot of reasons. Okay, let me get my composure. That was a big deal. Because I don't think it could have went better. It broke. Not only did this piece, was I right that this piece was completely broken off. Not only was I right about that, but I thought when I relieved that cut there, that would be the easiest. And it would drop this main trunk lower to the ground where I could get at it. And then it would make the job easier. I think I can get almost all of this out of the creek with the machine in large chunks. I think she's got the power to do it. So my wife kept telling me, why don't you let the town do it? Well, you know, the people, the machine, I think the town has an E35 or E3200 to get at that stuff. My machine's actually bigger, but there's more of them. I mean, they can just tackle it. And this is all, they do a lot of these. But they could say, we're not going to do it. It's on your property and it's not damming the creek. So, okay, so pause for the cause. I'm going to shut the chainsaw down. And she jammed, once the chainsaw jammed, once she jammed, look at this, did I luck out? Oh man, did I luck out. Once she jammed, she started cracking and I got out. I can't remember, I gotta look at the video if I yelled or something. Should I yell timber? Okay. Okay. And this is exactly what I wanted to happen. Now all of this is at a lower height. And I can work, and I know you guys, experienced loggers are probably laughing at me. You can. Please, you're welcome to. So I can clean, all this is cracked off. A lot of this is cracked off. So I can work from this end and nibble this down and get this out of here tonight. I was gonna go for a bike ride, but I might try to finish this up. All right, let's keep working. Woo, and she like completely cracked. And I had about an inch gap at the bottom, and then the chain jammed, and then I heard it cracking, and I just got out. And you can see how animals bore up in here, and that's part of the death of these trees. Okay, all right, I'm gonna shut this camera off. got most everything out of the creek. Once I get this cleaned up, I'll see if I can grab this debris. I think that's floating. I can't reach that with the excavator. I might drive over, send them a text drive over with a Ranger and cut that up, bring it back and put it on my pile by the street. My plan for this is I'm going to cut this in 2 pieces, then cut that down and dice it up with a smaller chainsaw, then whittle this back. The rest of this I'm going to do it in real small bites. Here I can tell you what's going to happen here, because I've been through this before. When I get into past this point, now it's going to start bearing on this, and she's going to pinch the blade. So what I'm probably going to do is try to nestle the excavator over here and grab it underneath and take some strain off of it, just enough to prop it up and cut up sections. I think I do 2-foot sections, and just cut it, once I get to here, 2-foot sections down with a 36-inch bar. Okay, I hope I have some good views pulling this out. This is absolutely amazing that this machine could lift this out of the creek. But these are huge. How long? 10, 20, 30 feet long. The thing is, I think they're hollowed, they're rotted. That's why I was, look at it, it almost touched the Ranger. That's how long this was. Almost touched the Ranger. This one's even longer. So this is what I pulled out of the creek. This was suspended in the air. This one right here, suspended in the air. That's the one that cracked off when she initially fell. And then that's the one where I cut the chainsaw and had to run with it. So with these, when I'm all done, I'll grab these with the excavator. I'm going to use a smaller chainsaw and cut these in 4-foot sections, and then grab them with a grapple. What a job, guys. Hail Mary. Hail Mary full of grace. For now, I'm gonna leave that stump where it is. I'm not sure what I'm gonna do with it, because I can't remove the whole thing, and I'm wondering if you just better leave a knob on it. And I think that's all I'm gonna cut of it for today. I'm gonna stack that piece over here with these other pieces, and then the last thing I'm gonna do is grab these with the excavator and cut them up with a small chainsaw. I think that bar is big enough. I think it's big enough. Marauders, I can't give you anything better than what I gave you today. Ranger again, tool caddy, amazing. E42 excavator has been running for 5-6 hours, mainly just idling, but again, could not do it without this machine. And this, I forgot how pretty this area was back here. Now that you can see it opened up a little bit. Did everything I could to save that tree, and look, it has a piece of the dead tree stuck in the top of it. So let's take a look. This is the main trunk. I didn't cut anything. They were 36 inches, just cut through it. And then at the base down here, I think it's 6 feet. But these trees are so damp. And I think my chains are underneath the stump someplace. Oh, I knew it! I knew it! This is where I pulled that tree out on my brother. We didn't have any chains at work. So at least there's one of my chains. I'm thinking, where did I leave my chains? Where did I leave them? I think I left it here when I pulled that stump out. I knew it! Well, I left at least one here. Okay, so you can see the size of that. Definitely at 36 inches across, it's probably 4 feet, 4.5 feet from top to bottom. Massive mess cleaned up. Massive mess. And hopefully next year I'll get grass in here. There's the body of the main stumps. Again, she damaged this tree when she came down. I cleaned most of the garbage out of the creek. I'll probably pick that branch out. That I'm gonna have to go, I'll drive over, ask him if I can, my neighbor, go over with a Ranger and a small chainsaw. Maybe Peter will stack that on the back of the Ranger. So amazing. And you see she damaged that tree on the way down. You can see the little scar up there. I don't know if that's my tree. That's it from his tree. He can get rid of. No, I'm just kidding. No, I'm not. You clean up your own darn tree. No, I'm not gonna do that. I'll go over there and pick it up. I got most everything out of here. Small branches. Pile is massive. That's probably almost a 10-wheeler load there, almost. And then I got the rest of it. It's probably get it all off two 10-wheeler dump trucks. She's a pig. So I got a little choked up there when I brought down that main piece, and you know, was I afraid? No. But these things, when I think I have to do them, I think over and over again in my head how to do it, and I plan and I plan and I plan. I'm no different than any of you, and it went right to plan. And by the grace of God, I thank my parents. I think of my parents in times like that, and I think, man, they gave their son a brain and a great childhood and a lot of opportunities. And it's nice when you can use your brain and things that you've achieved and worked for, like that machine, just for this property. I use it on side jobs for the company. I bill it out, but I own that machine personally. It's maintained this property, and it is just been turned this property around over the last 4 years. Over 300 stumps and trees, and you can see they're still dying here. So there go I by the grace of God, right? We're fortunate. All right, please consider subscribing to my channel. I try to give you real world on this piece of property. That's why it's called Marauder Michelli. By the way, my last name's not Michelli. That's a character from my book. Please check out my book, Mindkill, Rise of the Marauder, at Amazon and Kindle. So that's it. Got this mess cleaned up. I'll use the track loader to get all this garbage to the street, get this done, and park the excavator. I'm on a push. My wife wants me to, I shouldn't say my wife, I'm debating selling it too. I'm on a push to get most or all of these trees I need to get down this fall. I really want to ride. I'd really like to save it to the spring, but so I'm on a push to get these trees down, as many as I can, and possibly sell the excavator. And then for the trees I have left, I think I'd probably rent one, and maybe for a week, and just hit it hard. Even if I had to take time off from work, just hit it hard to get these trees taken out. And I would maybe even rent a bigger one than that with a thumb, to knock out these trees and keep the yard looking pretty. That's it, Marauders. She's a beast. Have a great night or day, whatever you're doing. I hope to see you on the trail. Let's respect each other during this election season, which I can't stand it. We all had differences of opinion in this United States. That's what makes us unique, and we have to accept that. So there's a homestead. Ooh, Cleaned up the other tree on the other side. I might release this video before I release that one. This one was something else, boy. Ooh, doggy. What a mess. What, those pieces I have to take one at a time up in my grapple.